Hey there, everybody. Uh, you guys are having a good Thursday morning. I guess technically, yeah, this is Thursday morning as I record this. Now, I talked about how the Utah hockey team they had to basically abandon their quest to be known as the Utah Yeti or Yetis because the trademark and patent office said, "Oh, people might get confused because of the Yeti name because of the cooler company." Well, I got to thinking, why then? So it's not okay for Utah to pick the name Yeti because it might confuse people with the cooler company. Now, call me crazy, but I'm one who doesn't get how you could confuse the two. But it got me thinking. There's other there's other things and other teams in different sports that share names, including and there's different products that share names with sports teams. So why is that okay? So I wrote down just a couple of examples. So when it comes to the NHL, we're all familiar with the Stanley Cup. But yet, if you type in Stanley Cup on Google, what comes up? The Stanley Cup drinkware, the mugs. Okay, why is that okay? Is Stanley Cup not trademarked by the NHL? So how can they use the name? Why can they call their products the Stanley Cup, a Stanley Cup? Isn't that infringing on the NHL? I'm that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why did they get to trademark that? Why did they get to trademark their version of a Stanley Cup? But yet Utah can't name their team the Yeti because of the Yeti Cooler Company. But it's okay for the Stanley Cup drinkware. That's just one. Now you have a lot of cars. Now you have a number of car companies. Now here's just three examples of three NFL teams that share the names of either car companies or a car brand. The Los Angeles Chargers, the Dodge Charger, the Denver Broncos, the Ford Bronco, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Jaguar Car Company. Why is that okay? I'm asking these questions because it got me thinking. Like, wait, why did Yeti run into such a hiccup here? And why is it you have and these are just four examples of teams in different sports that share the same name. And there's a number and there's a good chunk more. Like the Giants. The Giants, you have a team, you have an NFL team named the Giants, the New York Giants. You have a Major League Baseball team, the San Francisco Giants. Are you confusing those two? The Jets. You have the New York Jets of the NFL. You have the Winnipeg Jets of the NHL. Is there confusion? Who's confused between those two? Who's confused between those two teams? Who's confused about the Panthers, the Florida Panthers, and the Carolina Panthers? Now there are other college names here that share these names too. The Kings. You have the Los Angeles Kings, and you have the Sacramento Kings. NHL, NBA. These are just a couple of examples of things that share the same name. They share the same name. They share this. They're all trademarked. But why was there not the why was the trademark and patent office when they were putting these together? Why wasn't there any confusion there? Why wasn't there any confusion of the NFL teams and the car companies? Are you really going to get confused between looking up the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Jaguar Car Company? Are people really going to get confused between the two? How many people get confused when they look up Stanley Cup if you're a hockey fan and you're trying to look up information on the Stanley Cup, you punch in Stanley Cup on Google, you get the drinkware. Why is that okay? It's okay for that, but it's not okay for the hockey team in Utah to be named the Yeti or Yetis because it'll be confusing with the cooler company. I mean, this is what went through my head since yesterday. Like, then why are all these other examples okay? I don't know. And why is the Yeti Cooler Company, are they that insecure that they want to completely corner the market on the name Yeti or Yetis, that they don't want to share that name with a sports team? And again, are you really going to be confused if you're punching in Yeti or Yetis? Are you really going to be confused between the cooler company and the hockey team? I don't know. It's just odd because the fans in Utah wanted Yeti. That was the name they wanted. The fans picked it. That's what they wanted. The patent and trademark office saying, well, it's too similar because it might cause confusion. Hello? Are you really getting confused between the car companies and the football teams? Are you really getting confused between the different team names from, baseball, basketball, football, baseball? Are we really getting that? Are people that is common sense just that gone that people honestly will get confused between a car company or a drinkware company or a cooler company with a sports team? You really can't tell the difference. I don't know. It had me thinking, and it had me wondering, like, why was Yeti? Why was this such a big issue? Especially when the fans in Utah wanted Yeti. That's the name they wanted. That's what they voted for. And now, because of the Patent and Trademark Office apparently not being able to tell the difference between a cooler company and a hockey team, we most likely, and I honestly hope not, we literally might get stuck with just these jerseys. Just say Utah. No name, nothing. Just Utah Hockey Club. I don't know. I hope not. I hope people look at that and eventually pick Mammoth. I hope. But it was very confusing to me as to why this was such a big issue. Why exactly? How is this confusing? I don't know. Especially when you've got other examples of this, of different teams or different things that are named the same thing, but they're different products. They're either different products or they're sports teams, or in the Stanley Cup's case, the trophy, the oldest professional sports trophy in North America. But yet again, you punch in Stanley Cup on Google, what are you going to get? You're going to get the mugs. Because I did it. I punched in Stanley Cup and I got a whole ton of stuff. Stanley Cup drinkware, the mugs. But that's okay. Why is that okay? Did they how did they get the trademark for that? Wouldn't the NHL have an issue with that? Because the NHL has the trademark on the Stanley Cup. And if you go and say, well, they're named Stanley Cup while the Stanley Cup is named the Stanley Cup. Like, you're really going to split that hair of adding the Stanley Cup and Stanley Cup. It's basically the same name. Two different things. But that's okay. But Utah can't be the Utah Yeti or the Utah Yetis because the drinkware, well, we're just going to be, we want a quarter of the market on the name. Like, again, how are you going to, and do you really think the Utah Yetis would have used the same font as the Yeti Cooler Company? No. I don't know. It's just odd. It's just really odd that this became an issue when there's so many other examples of teams, of different sports teams sharing the same name, or different products out there sharing names with other sports teams. But yet, this is an issue. But yet, the Utah Yeti, they had to abandon the name Yeti or Yetis because the Cooler Company was butthurt. Because the patent office apparently think people are that dense that they don't know the difference between a Cooler Company and a hockey team. Let me know what you guys think, because yeah, this bugged me since yesterday, since I heard all this. And I wanted to look into just some of the other different names that are out there that share the same name, different sports teams, and different products that share the exact same name. And are you really getting confused? I mean, is anybody really going to get confused between the Stanley Cup sports trophy and the Stanley Cup mugs? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hit like, hit subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. Also, share this video with your friends, with your family. If you'd like to share any other video from the channel, go ahead and do that. And yeah, I mean, are some of you guys in the same have the same thought process that I do, or do you guys think that, oh yeah, there'll be a ton of people that'll be really confused between a Cooler Company and a hockey team? And is anybody really confused about the differences here? Let me know what you guys think. Again, hit like and subscribe. Share this video. We'll see you guys later.